You're my new favorite friend.
New best friends.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Russ with ProEdge Dental, and I'm thrilled to be talking to Amanda Hill. Amanda Hill, you're new to the world of infection control experts, as far as I know. You're new to me. You're my new favorite friend.
New best friends.
New best friend, but how, and you found us through a mutual friend, and we found you through a mutual friends. But why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I've been a dental hygienist for well over 20 years. I actually entered dentistry when I was 15. I called my local pedodontist and asked if he was hiring because I thought a job answering phones sounded really fun because that's what I did. I talked on the phone, and I went in and got interviewed, and somehow I interviewed to be a dental assistant, which I didn't realize I did, and got trained on the job. Being a pediatric dental assistant before we wore masks. I mean, oh my gosh, you think about that now with COVID. Woo! Right. And I just would come in after school and with my school clothes and put on an apron and help people pick out prophy paste. And so that's how I entered dentistry. And then I really liked what the hygienists were doing. I liked their family life balance. And so I headed off to dental hygiene school at Old Dominion University in Norfolk, Virginia. And then I met this Navy guy at church one Sunday.
That'll happen in Norfolk, Virginia.
It does happen in Norfolk, Virginia. And so we started moving around the world. And I've lived in California and Rhode Island and in Europe as well, and have gotten to experience dentistry kind of all over
Germany?
the world. Yes, we were in Germany.
Did you practice hygiene in Germany?
So I did a little bit of temping, but I never practiced regularly. I had more fun traveling. It was way more fun.
All right, that's a whole nother show.
So really, I can think what brought me into the infection control world was I left, went to Germany for 3 years and kind of took online CE, but, wasn't really invested. And I came back and I took my yearly OSHA course, HIPAA course that you have to take. And I heard the speaker talking about dental unit water lines. And I was like, oh, wait, what? I don't know anything about dental unit water lines. Like the only thing I knew about dental unit water lines are when I was in college, we were taught to every day before we saw patients to, take our air water syringe and drain it.
Right.
My instructor told me the reason we did that was because one time she was draining it and the spider crawled out. And so
spider came out of this.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there wasn't, the syringe wasn't.
Well, right. It wasn't, right.
Right.
But but it's a pretty small.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
So I thought we were doing it spiders. I don't know. I didn't really understand. So I heard this cool world about, biofilm and lines, and I knew about biofilm in our mouth, but I didn't understand anything about this other stuff. And I knew the office I was working in, I knew we weren't doing it. And I thought, wow, like I could totally do this. Like I am smart enough to do this. And so I jumped right on and, got some ProEdge paddles, which was really cool. And I did the testing.
What?
And,
wow.
Yeah. And then I took, those paddles.
Recently, because this is a pretty new product, right? So yeah.
Yep. So I got those. And then I took an online course with John Molinari, who, he's a smart guy and got me even more excited about it. And so I just, it was fascinating.
He is to blame for all these people who are fascinated with, with infection control in general, right? He's so good.
Well, as a hygienist, I care so much about my patients and their health. And I think that it's really important that we not just care about their mouth, but we care about the environment in which we're treating them. And so that was really, I think, something that struck me was I, thought about these patients that are coming in and I want to get them to health, but I need to make sure that when I'm getting them to health, that it's a healthy environment. And so I think that's what made me so passionate about infection control and about reading IFUs, instructions for use, and all those things.
You've got to be pretty nerdy to read it.
No. Yeah. So that's kind of my long and short. So now I practice hygiene part-time. 1 day a week. And then I also work with Dental Post. And then I do some writing for some different dental supply companies. And then I also have a podcast. So I've just been introduced to this great world of fun dental people.
And it's happened fast, really.
Fast.
So your podcast is called?
It's called Your Dental Top 5.
Your Dental Top 5. Okay, neat. And Dental Post. Tell us a little bit about your affiliation with Dental Post.
So Dental Post is actually kind of a funny story. I happened to be at RDH under one roof in 2018. It was in DC, and I was living in DC at the time. And when I went to find my job when we moved back from Germany, I went to find my job, and I didn't really know how to look for a job. I hadn't looked for a job in forever. And last time I looked for a job, you looked in the newspaper. Like, well, you don't do that anymore.
Don't ever, that dates you. Don't do
right?
that.
I know, I'm so old.
Kids say, what's a newspaper? Right?
I know. Yeah. So first I made a LinkedIn profile because I don't know, that's what you're supposed to do, right? That sounded good.
Right.
Well, you can't really search for dental hygiene jobs on LinkedIn. Like I was getting stuff for dentist or nurse practitioner or whatever, and that didn't make sense. And so then I just started Googling like, okay, dental jobs near me. Well, and Dental Post just popped up. And so I was like, oh, okay. So I applied for a free profile and found the job, people who were hiring my area, and applied for a job, like just click, click, click. And I got the job right away. So I happened to be at Under One Roof a few months later, and Dental Post had a booth at Under One Roof. And I walked up to the woman that was at the booth and I was like, hey, I found my job with Dental Post. And anyway, it turned out the woman I was talking to was Tanya Lanthier, who was our CEO. And we just got along. We hit it off. And sort of like you and me. And
But yeah, I get the feeling that's a recurring theme in your life.
I don't know. I like people.
You're kind of hard to get along with.
I know. So anyway, so we started chatting, and at the end of the conversation, she said, do you want to work for me? And I was like, sure.
I bet that's a recurring theme in your life too. Everybody that talks to you says, can we hire you? Wow.
So yeah, so that's just how it started. And then I've been with them for about a year and a half, and I love getting to go to dental conventions and representing Dental Post and making all these amazing friends. And I get to do some speaking engagements and lecture about job hunting and help students. I love going to the universities and try to help them.
So Dental Post is a website, it's a one-ad website for job seekers and job searchers.
Exactly. Yeah.
And yet there's really good content on there as well. Right?
Yeah. So it's not just like a flat job board. The neat thing is along with your free profile that you can make, you also have access to these assessments. So we have personality tests and core value tests and emotional intelligence tests and different assessments that allow you as a job seeker to know more about yourself and allow an employer some data and metrics in hiring. So they know a little bit more about this potential team member before they bring them on to know that they're going to be the right fit in their office. Because, our offices are like families.
Right.
And we have to be able to get along.
That's good. And we're big believers in those aptitude and those tests, just to know about yourself and how you get along and the type of people you, and how to communicate with the different personality types, right?
Absolutely. That is so key to understand, like, okay, I know this is the best way to get you to hear me and understand me. And that really helps us. It works with patients too.
Oh, wow. That's fun. That's fun. Yeah. And I think coming out of COVID, they are going to be busy. That's a website where people who are looking are going to be finding, hopefully, right?
Absolutely. And they even have temp jobs on that website too. So, offices might be bringing in, maybe they need a temp hygienist on Saturdays because they're going to increase their hours to try to help this backlog or things like that, or a temp assistant or another, just this, maybe they need a sterilization assistant with all this new stuff that might be coming down the pike. Oh,
that's a whole nother podcast too. And that could so if we have to wear all this PPE and if there's a whole new legislation that comes out regarding aerosols, we don't know what that could be, but I was really smart people yesterday who said that dental hygienists may need dental assistants because you can't have three hands if you need one hand for a really good high volume evacuation line to minimize that aerosol. We don't know what the future is going to look like.